Seth Annika, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to press the subscribe button there and press the bell button beside it so you get notified when we post a new video.
So it's Thursday again and it's True Crime Thursday. So yeah,
Just gonna go down na kasi ayaw na need. So bye! Mag-intro na lang siya ngayon. So for today's story, we'll talk about another local crime. And this is fairly recent, like around 2014. So ganun, kahapon lang. And it is the Baguio Massacre.
So today we're gonna make cookies, and again, this is not a cooking show. We're just gonna make stuff that we saw the recipes online, and yeah.
So again, before we start, I just want to remind you that this is a true crime channel, and we'll be talking about murders and facts of different cases. And we might also show some pictures that are disturbing or like you won't be comfortable seeing. So viewer discretion is advised. Like, bakit pa ako? So on April 6 of 2014, 5 victims were found in an apartment in Kaya Hilltop, Baguio City. So this was a very small barangay lang in Baguio City, and in this apartment, they saw 5 victims, including 3 minors. So, tatlo doon bata pa. Right. So, Baguio City had the lowest crime rate during this time, not only in the Philippines, actually not lowest pala, one of the cities with the lowest crime rates, not only in the Philippines, but also in Southeast Asia. So, when they heard of, or when they had this case or crime happen in that period, they were so shocked and, in disbelief kasi hindi talaga nangyayari in that city. So as I said, Kayang Hilltop was a small barangay lang in Baguio City. And in this barangay, there was a marketplace in the area. So it was very busy, ang daming dumadaan, ang daming nangyayari. So it was really magulo and maraming tao. So there was a family there, the Nocietes family. They had a carinderia in the area. So it was owned by Vilma and Joey Nocietes, and they had a helper there in the carinderia named Samantha. And then at home, since they were busy with the carinderia, like serving people, so in their house, their kids were looked after by their helper, Jonalyn. Looked after by their helper, Jonalyn Lozano. So on April 6 of 2014, a man went to that apartment and visited their house. He was looking for Joey Nocietes, so the dad. But he was not there because he was in the carinderia nga, like working. And Jacqueline, their daughter, a 19-year-old, texted their mom saying, si Vilma sabi, may bisita si Papa, hindi ko kilala kung sino, pero nakita ko kausap ni Papa dati. Around that text. So, Vilma replied to that, but after that reply to Jackie, hindi na siya nakarinig from Jackie, like, no word at all. So, she got worried a bit, ganyan. And then, she decided to go back to their apartment. And during that time, wala pa si Joey, so hindi nila alam kung nasa si Joey, but yeah. So, siya na lang, sabi niya, sige, babalik ako sa apartment. Sabi niya sa waitress niya, si Samantha, na siya na lang muna magbantay nung karinderya kasi nga babalik siya. So when she went back to the apartment, she was knocking, calling out for their children, calling out for the helper, si Jonalyn. So she was knocking talaga, like, hello, andiyan, hello. Ganon. Tapos walang sumasagot, walang open, walang response. So she decided to go up to their neighbor, si May Dumpit Fernandez. Si Fernando na naman, bumabalik. So she decided to go up to her neighbor, si May Dumpit Fernandez. You should remember that name because it will come up again later. And borrow her duplicate key. So hindi ko gets bakit wala siyang susi, pero yun. So, nung nakuha niya na yung key, she went down, opened the door, and to her surprise, all her kids and their helper and the friends of Joey were dead and lying in their pools of blood. Like, lahat ng areas in the house may blood. It was super gory, super bloody, super magulo. As in, wala. And then, so the friends of Joey were Dave and Raimundo. So they were almost the same age, 1, 8, 7, ganyan. So it was unlucky for them that they were there at that time. So after seeing everything, like, yung, syempre nag-rola muna siya, yung mga anak ko, gano'n. And then after they brought her, oh, we shouldn't be laughing, it's not funny, sorry. It's not funny. So they brought the children and the helper to the hospital, but when they arrived in the hospital, they were declared dead. They were declared dead on arrival. Okay, so we're gonna melt the butter. I'll be back and she'll continue the story. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. So, of course, Vilma called the police, and then the police said that there was no sign of forced entry. So that would mean that the person that went there was someone they knew or someone they were familiar with. So of course, it was like a marketplace, and there were a lot of people. So they're like taking safety precautions, so they would always lock their door. They also said that inside there was like signs of struggle because all of their stuff and were everywhere, and the blood, like there was blood everywhere. So yeah, and diba, marketplace, so maingay. Tapos at that time, there were people that were singing at the karaoke, so super ingay. So kung may nangyari man sa loob ng apartment nila, walang makakapansin or like, hindi nila maririnig kasi yun nga, maingay talaga. Nalaman rin ng police na they didn't have any neighbors sa 4th floor. Kasi nakatira sila sa 4th floor ng Chan building. So, yeah, they didn't have neighbors. So, that's why she asked for a duplicate upstairs. And they found a tablet in one of the bedrooms of the apartment. So, they crossed out robbery as a motive for the murder. So, in the autopsy of the victims, they discovered that the murder weapon was a double-bladed knife, but it was never recovered from the crime scene. So, baka daw dinala ng killer or like dinispose. And the police also discovered that the Chan building didn't have any security guards or any security cameras, so they didn't really get anything. She's back with the butter. Melted butter. So on April 7, the next day, there was a press conference, and Superintendent Orlando Miranda said that their prime suspect was Rolando Tolentino Avino, a 31-year-old man. So yeah, they got this from evidences at the crime scene.
Why did you bite it? Hirap eh.
And also some other evidences that were not in the crime scene. So, Philip was actually in a long-term relationship with the waitress of the Nocietes family in their carinderia, Samantha. And then, so, they broke up 2 days before the murder happened. And they broke up because of financial issues. After that, Philip found out that the Nocietes family was helping Samantha financially, and he thought that they were doing this so that they wouldn't be together anymore. So So the police thought that he let out his anger on the children instead of Vilma and Joey kasi they weren't there. They were in the karinderya, diba? And they said he was possibly on drugs at that time. Mix. So their helper, Jonalyn, and Joey Jr.'s friends, which were Dave and Raimundo, they weren't really gonna be victims. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So unfortunately, they were caught up by it. Yeah, it's really... So he moved to Baguio around 2012 or like 2013, and he was living under the alias of Michael Herodmo. He was actually, according to records, like official records, and Philip's mom, he has a pending arrest warrant for raping their 13-year-old household helper back in Manila. Then after he did that, he fled to Baguio. Killing. Raping. You
do
know,
sexual stuff with someone who doesn't like.
Yeah.
If you force someone, you shouldn't do that. That's bad.
Yeah. Don't be a rapist. So, a manhunt was done because Philip fled to Cubao in Quezon City.
How do you know if it's green na? Is it like this?
If it's, I think, like,
Frothy?
siguro, or like you can, like, walang
Na butter.
So, a manhunt was done because Philip fled to Cubao in Quezon City.
And work out?
And then the mayor of Baguio City, he was like prompted, like they told him to give out a reward for Philip's capture because this was a really big thing. Didn't happen every day. So, yeah. So on April 8th, Orlando Miranda, the superintendent, he announced on TV while holding up the picture of Philip that the bounty for his capture was 100,000 pesos. Like, that's a lot. That's big money. You know? So after hearing this, because it was like everywhere on TV, Philip's half-brother, which was Jeffrey Santa Ana, and Fixer, and he was actually a police officer in Quezon City. He planned out how to get Philip or how to make Philip surrender with the help of Philip's aunt, which was Chit Tolentino, who was a barangay chairwoman of a barangay in Manila. So yeah, Philip had like relatives in the government, so why would he do that? So Philip said that he would only surrender himself to Isko Moreno, the vice mayor of Manila at that time. Why did you add that first?
Why?
You're supposed to add that first.
So we'll mix this first. We'll cut kasi mahingay yung
Okay, now we're gonna put this, the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients. So,
Ano ba yan, Annika? Ano ka ba?
it's so hard kaya.
Yeah, but... Ano ba yan? Okay guys, so fail kaya kami ulit. Like our mochis. Pero sana kami na makakain, so malinis yung
Okay
table
lang.
namin.
It's clean, don't worry.
It happens. Lalo na pag hindi ka talaga nagbibake. Okay, so hello. So,
We're gonna add the chocolate chips na. The best part of the cookies.
wait lang, lalagay ko dun.
Yes.
Ano ba to?
Yeah. Use the spatula to pick up the...
Struggle. So after that, we surrendered to Isko Moreno. Kasi papakita ko yung video. Dito. Papakita namin yung video na nandun si Isko when he was still vice mayor.
Di nagtagal, lumutang si Avino na naka-hood at jacket.
Wala po ako doon.
Nasaan ka nun nung nangyari yung insidente? Nung linggo ng...
Nasa bus, nakasakay na paluwas. Yung short ko, nandun. Kala ko nga pati jacket ko nandun eh. Tinapon ko yun, pati yung jacket ko.
Dahil nag-aaway kayo dyan.
Opo, dahil nga dun sa lalaki.
So he surrendered 2 days after, on April 8, 2014, to Isko Moreno in one of the bus stations, I think, of Quezon City. It was there na nagpa-arrest. Pero they gave him a bulletproof vest tsaka combat helmet kasi the family members of the Nocietes were super mad, like
Sugod.
willing to kill for Siyempre, sobrang na-hurt sila with what happened sa kanilang kids. Talagang galit na galit sila. So, binigyan siya ng vest tsaka helmet just to protect him. Okay, so we're gonna put the chocolates. And then, even though he was arrested na, surrender na siya, diba? He was still denying his involvement in the case or in the crime. Like, hindi free-name daw siya, mga ganun. Like, nasa Sokoat or something. He kept, may interview siya doon na he was framed, like, bakit daw yung shorts niya nandun. Kasi in the crime scene, they saw his shorts and his belt. And yung belt na yun, kinonfirm ni Samantha na gift niya for him. So, he was placed in the scene of the crime. But he kept denying it na plinant yung mga evidence doon, so it points to him. And then he also kept saying na during that time, he was already in Cubao or in Manila. Pero, some marketplace goers or mga vendors doon were able to identify him in the marketplace mga 3:30 or 4 p.m. of that day, which was close to the crime. Like, andun siya during that time. So, hindi nagmamatch yung mga sinasabi niya with the evidence pointing to him. So, after his arrest, di ba, trial na, ganyan. During the trial, he was given maximum security. Talagang binantayan siya. And, syempre, kasi nga yung family members of the children were talagang naghahanap ng way to, make him pay. Hindi in the legal sense na serving a life sentence, but talagang death. Yeah. And then, 2 years after the crime, on January 28, 2016, he was found guilty of 5 counts of murder. He was sentenced to life with no possibility of parole, which was the maximum penalty during that time kasi that penalty was off the table na at that time.
Until now.
Yeah, that time.
During that time, there was already no.
Nung binibigyan na siya ng sentence, the judge said he would have been sentenced with a death penalty, but fortunately for him, wala nang death penalty nga in the Philippines that time. So, life imprisonment na lang with no possibility of parole. And it was a short story.
Yeah.
We're done
We're done
hindi
with the
pa kami
story.
tapos mag-date. So, we'll just talk to you guys.
So, how was your day so far? How did you wake up? Was it fine? Was it okay?
Like, it was a short story, pero ang daming nangyari.
Yeah.
Like, in a span of 2 days.
Yeah, less than a week. It was a very intense story.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
happen.
it was
every
recent,
day.
ha? Like, 2020.
6 years ago.
6 years ago, which was, like, it's so sad to hear na may mga ganun cases. Pero anyway, it happens talaga in the Philippines. Like, you don't hear about it much.
There's not
Parang
a lot.
it's usually Western na you hear about. But there are cases na intense here in the Philippines. Like,
An example would be that.
yeah, so we'll try to cover more local stories kasi they deserve to be known then para we get to, oh, it's so big. Oops, go back. They deserve, go back. Sorry. So, they deserve to be heard pa rin. Kasi, like, there are so many crimes here that go unnoticed and so disheartening na it happens. talaga. Like, it's not just in the States or in the Western countries. We have those, and we should be more careful of what's happening. Like, being more careful. Like, dapat kasi wala talagang nagagawa. Because it's a bad thing. But, we should also take, take care of ourselves. Like, always be aware of our surroundings, ganon. Okay lang. Yun yung natututunan ko in true crime stories, like how to be careful and how to and you know what to know kapag you're in that situation. Parang it gives you an idea of what to do habang parang hindi ka I mean, yeah, you will panic, pero at least
You're aware
Yeah.
of what.
so you can escape. Okay, we'll pop this in the oven. Oven. Ang dami naming gamit dito na hindi nagamit.
Parang to 10 minutes on.
We'll bake this first. Fine. Hey, we're back. And we have our cookies.
They look yummy. They smell like Coco Crunch.
Okay, so it turned out nice naman pala. It's a rabbit crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Like me. My brothers are looking. I'm like, okay, you will taste it.
test.
Init! Aray! Oh, tinan mo, ang daming chocolate.
It's so crunchy, pero chewy.
Harap. Mukbang na pala ito.
10 out of 10.
Bili na kayo, 65 isa. Mahal, 250 isang tub. 6 pieces. Joke lang. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and watching us bake our delicious cookies. Masarap, promise. As in, masarap. Please don't forget to press the like button there. And press the subscribe button if you want to see us fail at baking again or hear true crime stories or see Naomi. But she's not here because she's asleep.
There.
Yeah, under the table. Okay.
Yeah. Thursday. You want to make it?
Uy, hindi pa tapos!
So, see you again next Thursday. Bye!
Pero,